Hello everybody, conference play rolls on for Bison men's basketball. It was a big road weekend for NDSU. Head coach David Richman is here and we're going to break this down, break the league down, talk about Lawrence Alexander as well here on the Coach's Corner this week. And Coach, what's your overall impression of the road split? They always say win your home games, split on the road. You did get the road split this week.
Yeah, the phrase I found myself saying here today and over the weekend is good, not great. I think first and foremost Thursday night at IUPUI is a completely different organization. Jason Gardner and his staff have done a tremendous job. And for us to sneak away, and I can't say it any better than that, with an overtime victory is great. We played pretty well, but really locked in and finished well in overtime, and very pleased to get away with that. And then a quick turnaround at IPFW, a team that was picked to win it. It was a homecoming, it was a packed house, it was a great environment. I don't think we were quite ready out of the gates for the energy that they brought. Give our kids a tremendous amount of credit. They were resilient, really battled back and competed, just weren't able to finish it.
You know, as we head to February here, if the season ended today, you'd be the 2 seed. You're still in a good spot. You got some home games coming up here. So still overall very good. SDSU's on a little bit of a run though, aren't they? Yeah,
they're a very good team. You know, they're starting to get into more of a rhythm with George Marshall back. And I think, but again, very pleased with where we're at. You know, South Dakota State's ahead of us by a half game because they've played one more game. But we've got a big one coming up here Thursday with Denver.
Well, we're going to talk about Lawrence Alexander this week. What a fantastic player he's been. What a great career. We have a story on him this week. He's had to take on a little bit more minutes this year, more scoring. He's been asked to do a little bit more. Let's check in on Lawrence Alexander in this week's Player Spotlight.
And he just gave me the bounce pass and I took the shot.
And what did you say when he was in the air?
Buckets.
As the Bison men's basketball team walked off the court for the final time last season, so did more than 13,500 career minutes and 5,600 career points.
Last year we just had so many weapons. I mean, you look at a Taylor Braun who was the Summit League Player of the Year. He was basically our second option. You know, everything ran through Marshall Bjorkman last year.
When preparation began for this season, a sudden realization set in for Lawrence Alexander, the lone Bison senior.
Marshall, Taylor, all the rest of the guys wasn't there, and I looked around like I'm gonna have to be the go-to guy next year, and that's the conversation I've been having with Dave ever since that workout session, knowing that I'm gonna be the main option on offense.
We basically tell them that, hey, you're the Taylor Braun and Marshall Bjorkman of the scouting reports of other teams now. So they're preparing to stop you. You know, what are you going to do to be able to score? How are you going to be able to expose defenses in different ways?
And it's been a challenge the Peoria, Illinois native has accepted, averaging 7 more points per game.
Personally, I feel like I always can put the ball in the basket, and this year a lot of my shots is mainly be coming from low penetration for kick or even transition or late shot clock coming off a ball screen. That's where the majority of my points came from this year.
LA credits countless hours in the gym as the reason for the increase, but says scoring is still not his #1 passion.
I'd rather give the ball up, give up and get assists. You know, I'm a pass guy, point guard. It may not show this year because I'm doing way a lot more scoring than I did last year, but honestly, if it's up to me, I'd rather pass first than shoot.
Reporting for the Bison Coach's Corner, I'm Ryan Nelson.
Well, Coach, who can forget the shot he hit against Oklahoma in the NCAA tournament? But just overall, what a fantastic career he's had. It's starting to wind down right now, but talk about him this year. He's had to do a little bit more and take his game to a little bit of a different level this year, hasn't he?
There's no question, Jordan, but before we get into that, you know, everybody gets to see him inside the lines. He's obviously a tremendous player, but he's a way better person. Just an unbelievable young man. His humility, his selflessness to give all for the team has been just a pleasure to be around the last 3.5 and now going into 4 years. And but there's no question he really has stepped up his play this year, and he had to. It's not something that he couldn't do last year. You just look at, we're a different team, different parts around him, and he understands that. And most importantly, he's providing great leadership in establishing some things with our young guys in our culture.
All right, now back to the court this week. Denver is in Fargo. Then you have a road trip to Western. But Denver, a very intriguing team. They play it slow. A very good member of the Summit League now. It's kind of been fun to have them in the league. But Brett Olson is a fantastic player. Don't let the slow tempo fool you. These guys can score the basketball. 3 of the top 7 3-point shooters in the conference.
Yeah, there's no question, Jeremy. This is a very good team. They were picked second in our league preseason for a reason. You know, Brett Olson, you know, I think I believe he might have been preseason player of the year. I know he was first team, just a tremendous player, and they've got a lot of pieces around him. I think what you'll see Thursday night is just a really unique, it's a different style, both offensively and defensively. Offensively, they run more of the quote-unquote Princeton offense, some back screens. They're very patient, kind of take what they give you. And just feed off your mistakes a little bit. And then defensively, you know, they run a matchup, and it's just so unique and gets you standing around a little bit. We've got to keep the ball moving, our bodies moving.
And then on Sunday, you have a road trip to Western. They're on the skids a little bit, but on the road, nothing is easy in college basketball.
Nothing's easy in college basketball, especially in our league. You can see it in the standings, the parity. And Western Illinois is going to be a hungry team, especially after, you know, us getting them here at our place. For them to turn around and have us back at their place here almost, I mean, not even 2 weeks, you know, after the last one, it's going to be a formidable test, there's no question.
You're in a great spot. Good luck this week. Thanks for your time, Dave. 7 p.m. Thursday versus Denver. It's going to be a great game. We'll see you out at Shields Arena, MeTV in North Dakota, Bison Radio Network with Scott Miller and myself. Then on Sunday, Scott Miller on the Bison Radio Network will have the call from Western Illinois, and we'll talk about both those games next week. Have a great week, everyone.